Hello Pagan Perspective viewers, it's Delia here on the Saturday subslot with the Pagan Perspective, and today we are talking about totem animals, spirit guides, and how to use them in our path. Today's topic is extremely exciting, and I am thoroughly looking forward to it. They're exciting because I can answer this one from personal experience. So I'm going to read you the topic today. This comes from Hannah. The first question comes from Hannah Reed. What do you do with totems? Hey guys, for starters, I love this channel a lot. I would like to make a topic request. I have recently found my totem animal. It's a zebra. And I was really excited, still am. But then I had the question, well, what do I do with it now that I know what it is? And when I look online, it was all about finding your totem. I want to progress with my totem animal, but I have no idea where to start. I'd really be grateful for your takes on what to do after you have found your totem. Megan made a really good point as to understanding the difference between a totem animal and a spirit guide. There are 5 spirit guides. There's the higher being, the archetypal, ancestral, totem beings, totem animal spirits, and then your higher self. So when you understand what you have, which is your zebra, what to do with them now. I found myself asking the same question, and because I wasn't really sure where to start, I kind of just let it be as what it is. Finding my totem animals, the owl, praying mantis, and the bat, came to me through meditation, a guided meditation that Charming Pixie Flora has on her website. It's probably a 9 or 10 minute video. And for those of us that don't do well with meditation, because thoughts and being able to focus on that center and clarify the receptiveness that we need during that time, 9 minutes just might not be enough for some people, but keep going, give it a try, and see what that does for you. I was very shocked to be able to actually do that 9 or 10 minute meditation with Charming Pixie Flora on her channel here on YouTube, and discover my totem animals. If you've watched any of my 21 Witchy Questions series on my personal channel, you will be able to hear more about how the praying mantis surprised me. Yeah, that was really interesting. So instead of, I did go online and look up what the metaphysical meanings are for those animals that are now brought into my life. But I also am able to look at them with a more personal, like for my own experiences, how I can relate them to be working with me in my path here on earth. Spirit guides are here to, they're always there. Okay, so first off, what you should do is, even though that they're there, they might have made themselves known in little ways throughout our life already. And if you're just waiting for a spirit guide to show up, I mean, it might happen. It'll happen. I mean, it happened to me once. I was being told to slow down on a dark and stormy night traveling through the redwoods, the Avenue of the Redwoods, which is up in Northern California, in the southern Humboldt region of Humboldt County. Dark and stormy night, going 75 miles an hour on the Avenue of the Redwoods. And I kept being told, slow down. You need to slow down, slow down. And I did. I slowed to probably 55 miles an hour, and I had actually put my seatbelt on at this time. Slow down, put on the seatbelt. There was this shiny thing in the road. And at first I thought it was a reflection from the Eel River, which is right there along the Avenue of the Redwoods. But as it got closer, I realized it was in the road. I slammed on the brakes and stopped within 4 feet of crashing into a gigantic redwood tree that had fallen across the road. So now looking back to past experience, I know that that was my spirit guide saying, knock it the fuck off and calm down, and you need a break or you're going to die. So those are ways that the spirit guides are in our life. But if we don't ask them to join us on our path, they will just kind of hang around and wait for you to ask. So don't be afraid to ask. Invite them into your life and invite them into your daily path. What I've found that I've done with now having a higher being as a spirit guide in my path, I just got to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna find out if I even have one. And so what I did is I watched a few videos and tried to figure out maybe where I should start. I wrote down questions that I would have for my spirit guide ahead of time. So I wasn't just sitting there fumbling with, I think I might be having one. A small amount of meditation did take place. However, I performed a full ritual prior to the asking. Lit a candle, put out some salt around in a circle. I wanted to make sure that I was getting my spirit guide, not some malevolent force coming in and trying to trick me. I didn't want to fall prey to that type of situation, which it is possible. It does happen. So if you feel that that's the route that you're going to take, great, more power to you. I called the quarters, I called in the goddess and my totem animals to come in and join me to protect the circle and only allow in that which is going to be my spirit guide. Right before I sat down to do the meditation, after I had completed my ritual, a shooting star flew across the sky. And what I mean by doing a small amount of meditation, it was just breathing and focusing on my breath, where if I was started to get distracted, I breathed back in heavily through my nose and listened to the sound of my breathing. That's how I focus on my breath. I just listen to the sound of my breathing coming in and out through my nose and my mouth, and fully opening up my center space, which is, I envision it as just a cosmic expanse. Just opening up my center space. Reminding myself to be open and receptive to the environment around me. Oh, excuse me. And being objective, not subjective. If you know the difference between subjective truth and objective truth, good, that's great. If you don't, please go and, educate yourself on that, because I really wasn't sure what it was either. I was like, objective, isn't that like whatever? But now I know that being subjective is basically the truth that we're told throughout our life that really isn't our truth, but we end up believing it anyway because we don't know any other way. But when you're objective, you are being able to sit back and say, there's this and there's this, but this doesn't really work for me and this does. So the objectiveness, being able to be there, is super important. Being receptive to the environment. Say that there's like a noise or a sound or a feeling or a sensation. Don't play that off as, oh, it's just in my head. Try to really be objective and receptive and be like, yes, this is a sign from my spirit guide. This is a sign that I need to be paying attention to. So I wrote down some questions, and how I found my spirit guide was through automatic writing. Automatic writing is where you take a piece of paper, a pen, a pencil, a crayon, a marker, liquid eyeliner, lipstick, whatever you have at a piece of charcoal from your fireplace, whatever you have at hand, and just start letting it guide you. Your spirit guide will guide you. I'm right-handed. This is my dominant hand. And scientifically, it has been proven that if you switch to your non-dominant hand, the synapses in your brain get like, what are we doing? Okay, I mean, yeah, you can write with your right hand or left hand, depending on which one is your non-dominant hand, and it might look sloppy or messy, but you're still able to do it. Your brain is able to function enough to get you to write. But when you're doing this automatic writing, it definitely helps with having your own brain synapses in that state of, well, we're still needing to write something, but I'm confused because we're not using our dominant hand. Because then your spirit guide, once invited into the circle with peace and heart and love and whatever else that you're looking for, you just let it. I don't want to use the word take over, because there is no taking over when it is your spirit guide. There is a definite, loving, peaceful, fluid connection that your spirit guide will be able to use to help flow your hand to write out its response. So using your non-dominant hand, place it lightly on the paper and just let it take over in the way I explained before. You should never feel scared. If you feel worried, look at yourself objectively. Why is this frightening you? Is it your subjective truth of what you've been told throughout your childhood that witchcraft is bad? Then maybe you need to do a little shadow work and think, why do I think that this is bad? I'm not doing anything bad. So just let your hand flow, and you ask the question like, is my spirit guide here with me? And you should get a response. Your hand will start to move and the words will start to appear. Sometimes it's just going to be squiggly lines, but this was my very first time ever doing automatic writing. Oh, it was amazing. It was the most amazing thing. It was extremely entertaining, for one, and number two, it was just like awe-inspiring. I asked, are you here with me? The pen started to write and I was getting a Y, and we were down by this middle half of the Y. I don't know if you can see that, but then my son came rushing out of the house, threw open the front door, and I kept my pen on paper, and I was like, go back inside, go back inside. I was expecting all concentration to be lost. And he's like, the light bulb just burst. And he was freaking out because it was the very first time he had ever experienced a light bulb just shattering when you turn on the light. But it didn't shatter, it fizzed out, that pop of blue light, and the filament just busted. The light itself didn't bust, but the filament busted, and it startled him. And I was like, oh wow, I just started my question, that just happened, the Y is being made, and he's freaking out. I was like, that's awesome. But it kept going, my hand kept going, and I was getting a Y, and then an E, and then an S. So yes, I got a yes response with my automatic writing with my spirit guide. And so I asked my spirit guide a few more questions, and so that's one way to do it. Dreams and meditation, automatic writing, using a Ouija board, when done properly, without that juvenile influence from our past where we're just having a good time playing with the Ouija board to get some exciting horror in our life. It's, with a ritual, and, be specific. You only want what you invite in with love and trust and all that good stuff. So that's one way to do it, and that's how I found my spirit guide. Now that I have my spirit guide in my life, and I know that they're there, he or she, it being non-gender, but has allowed me to call my spirit guide Sam. Sam being a very versatile name in a unisex type of way. It could go as for male or female. And Sam spells, in the numerological makeup, 6, the number 6. So Sam is my light being spirit guide. Knowing that, being that of the divine, and that there is no limitations to its ability to be in our life, we could use and call on our spirit guides whenever we need. Things that I would suggest is to just, talk to them on a regular basis. Get to know them, get to enjoy their presence, in your life. They're always there, and they're always there to help you, or help with answering questions, or helping you in your subconscious while you sleep. And like I said in my 21 witchy questions, the praying mantis has definitely been one of my stronger guides so far. Is that just being able to find the surprise that surrounds me every time I go out, and there's something that surprises me or shocks me or awes me. That's my spirit guide with the praying mantis. I'm like, oh, look at that, or oh man, I'm happy, or something. It's my praying mantis helping to draw my attention to that type of thing. So just get to know them, get to talk to them, ask them questions. If you don't think that you can think of anything, start writing stuff down. Maybe you want to know if your spirit guide could help you with a clairvoyance or clairaudience. See if there's ways that you can work on that together. And eventually you won't need to do automatic writing anymore, because your spirit guide will have helped teach you along the way that you will not require that tool of automatic writing anymore. The tool will be what it is, a tool to help you get to a certain level in your path, and that you won't need it anymore. And that's the same with the Ouija board. You won't need the Ouija board anymore, because eventually you're just going to be able to ask a question and you'll be able to hear the response or feel the response. And that's where your receptiveness needs to really take hold, is like, yes, I'm definitely hearing a response, or I'm definitely feeling a response from my spirit guides. Let's get on to the next question. This one comes from Austin I am so sorry. Austin Ehlers, finding spirit guides. This individual has 2 questions. First, how did you discover spirit guide? Second, do you know of any way to spy? You know what? I just answered all those questions in the first question because I remembered these questions, but I will go ahead and read Austin's questions anyway. How did you discover spirit guide? Second, do you know of any way to find your spirit guide without meditation? Because no matter how hard or long I meditate, I never seem to get any signs. And so I did just answer all of that in the initial response. Yeah, that's how I did it, and it was exciting. I thought it was fun. But again, I don't have my thoughts limited to things such as, oh, it's evil, it's dark, it's bad, because I don't believe in that what I do is evil or dark or bad. I know I'm doing things for the better good of my own practice. So yeah, that was super exciting. I suggest it totally, just to see what happens. Just see what happens. That would be so much fun. Yeah, just ask questions, speak to your spirit guides on a regular basis. Include them in your rituals. Include them in your prayers. Include them with your spells that you cast. If you're going on a long journey, ask them to guide you. Ask them to be there with you while you're traveling. Growing up Mormon, as I did, every time we got in the car before a long journey, my mother and father would say a prayer before we left. So it's no difference. Once you get back past the terminology of prayer, and you're able to realize that you're not praying your old way of praying, you're praying because even though maybe the Christian God has never been the idea of the Christian God, even when you were a Christian, he was something completely better, something completely different, something more accepting and loving than the Christian God that you were raised with. I found myself in a state of anger and disbelief in that Christian God, but I always loved my idea of what God was. So I had to come to an understanding with myself that it's okay to still pray to him. Doesn't make me Christian, and just because my prayers are answered doesn't mean I have to go back to Christianity, because it is all of the same source. It is all of the divine, and it's all goddess and happy stuff. I'm sorry, I'm being obnoxious. Okay, so I'm gonna get headed out. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Blessed be. Much love. Bye.